Welcome back, folks. It's another episode of Final Fantasy XII. Another episode of Final Fantasy XII. We spent a lot of time trying to get that monster to show up that we were trying to hunt. And I don't think I care anymore. The rewards we're getting from hunting are not that good. They're not that good. See, if I remember correctly, I gotta leave this whole area. It's been a little while since we played this last. See, and now I'm in the Highlands. Garden of Life Circle, isn't that where I need to go? I know we were doing a lot of grinding too. But I think what I did is I was running back and forth because you got to load out of the zone and then load back into the zone to be able to have a chance of changing the weather. And I think we kept coming here, and this zone here needed to be raining for the monster that we're currently hunting to show up. And like we just played for hours and it just never rained. This game is going to be hard to rate. It's going to be really hard to rate this game. There's a lot of moving parts to this game, and I can't decide what parts I like and what I don't. I'm trying to think. Does the class system really tickle my fancy? Not really. I mean, I think there's been plenty of superior class systems in Final Fantasies. Final Fantasy IX, I liked its class system. 10 kind of had this. It really had the sphere grid if you had anything. Let's move Winterwind's HP bar from over there to over here. So you guys aren't covering up the map. Now, is the leveling as bad as Final Fantasy VIII? No. Not at all. What do I think of the story, though? It's not over. So we still got time for us to make up our mind about that, but... I don't know. Like, I'm actually really torn on this. Here's the thing: is like the grading system that we use, which I honestly should go through and change the grading system that I use, because I'm not gonna make the industry change how they rate games by being stubborn. But I actually. The way that games are getting graded today and have been for a while, and they did this to try and make games appear to be better than what they were so that they would improve sales, because they were getting paid by the companies making the game, so yeah, they're corruption. Boom, you got it. They start at 10, and as there's things about your game that people don't like, they would chip away and take away points. That's why, like, a perfect game where nobody can complain about anything is a 10. And why is he not attacking? And then, like, a bad game obviously would be a 1. But I think rating systems should, you know, if you do everything, should be like, you know, classes. If you met the standards of what a video game is, and you completed like the criteria, and you didn't screw anything up terribly, you should get a C. You should get a 5 out of 10 on your game, right? And that's an all right game. But an all right game gets like an 8 out of 10 in the modern system. He's going nuts with those attacks. That was dope. I liked fighting that thing. Anyways, yeah, long story short, because I'm on the fence, I would, in my grading system, I'd give this game a 5, because it's like, oh, you know, it's not bad, but it's not good. But a 5 is like, god damn, that's a terrible game by normal rating standards. So I really need to change, because then I guess this game is kind of like a 7? By the rating that we all know? Which is so wrong that a 7 out of 10 is mediocre. Get some loot. Just an earth crystal out of it? Mm. Okay. Doo-doo-doo-doo. What are you doing, Pinello? Ugh. Okay, I didn't intend to take the long way, but I guess I'm taking the long way. Wedger? Finally, like a decent amount of gil out of a chest, like seems to be like a rarity. A pebble. Doot doot. Alright, head to the south. Let's kill one of these big boys. Ringworm liver. Yummy. Hey, it's a tortoise. Like a nightmare tortoise, but... I don't know if you guys saw that, but the light that's down here that helps with the lighting just flickered hardcore. It was like crack, 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 and then stopped. So, you know, that's terrifying. Yeah, boy! So, little bummed, little relieved. I'm a little bummed that there's not going to be a physical edition of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. But I'm relieved because... I don't have to go track one down now. So... yeah, no. Seems to be an excessive amount of lightning there. She cast heal as she died. Heal yourself! Goddamn. Sonic fangs right off the bat? God damn. No. I'm thinking I'm done with these damn hunts, man. Like, the rewards I'm getting from them are not that good, and they're really hard, and they take a long time just to get started on some of them. Like, sure, some of them you just walk out there and find it, and then you kill the thing, but, like... like, one of them, I have to wait until the game decides to rain in a certain area for that monster to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing: I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 hunts left, and I'm stuck on one because this guy best hunted under cloudy skies. It despises the sun, so like it can't be sunny, and 66% of the time it's sunny there. You know what I mean? And the game doesn't update the weathering system, I think if I remember correctly, except for every 2 hours. So for you just to get another chance for him to show up, you have to wait 2 hours. Doesn't guarantee that if you wait 2 hours, you'll get him. I definitely don't like that. It's like, I don't know, like... I defeated Overlord. We could go turn that one in. I mean, we could... See, what's Carrot Stock? Here's the other thing. There's a total of 45 hunts. We don't even have all the hunts unlocked. What is Carrot Stock? It's a massive Marlboro. A huge Marlboro. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, let's see. So Carrot Stock's the hardest of the hunts I have. So what is our reward? We get 5,000 gil. Stink bombs, which just puts sap on a target. And a putrid liquid. Like, it doesn't even give me equipment. Here's the problem. We've been pseudo 100% through the entire Final Fantasy challenge up to this point. Like, the only thing that we've not done is super bosses, just because, like, doing the super bosses take a really long time. Because you gotta max out the characters, you gotta build this thing, and, like, you don't get anything from it. Like, you've already got everything in the game, and you beat them just to say that you could. I mean more so, like, 100% in the sense that, like, we get all the items, and we do all the quests, you know? Kinda want to skip this. Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, I could leave it for now and come back to it later if I feel like it, but I know that if once I've made the decision to skip it, that's it. We're done. Like, ship sailed. We won't come back for it. I don't know, man. I feel like it's such a waste of time. I'm not getting anything actually completed or unlocked. It's so... Let me see here. What is the reward for hunting this huge chocobo? It's part of a... canopic jar. I don't know. So we head back to port. Maybe I'll decide to change my mind and do it later. Because see, I might as well let it go at some point because I'm definitely not going to do all the extra bonus shit in 13. I say that, but I did all the extra shit in 8. I don't think we left anything unturned in 8. Except for, like, maybe doing, like, 100% of the cards. Okay, so we're in shops here. So let's go hit all the shops. Let's make sure, because this is the newest town in the storyline. So let's make sure that we got all of the newest equipment. I think we do, but we're gonna check. Yeah, I get. I mean, we've demoed the hunts, is really what we've done. We've shown off the gist, but we haven't done a completion. It's a minor difference. It's a minor difference to me. We got 75,000. Let's sell a bunch of junk, huh? Sansanical, how is it going? Big cheers. We're good. We're good. Gonna run tonight as long as we can. But we did have a late start. But we're gonna stay on as long as we can today. Get some serious work done on Final Fantasy XII. And then I think we finally go after tactics after this. I think we finally take on the beast. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to do licenses. We're done on him. On that board. We're done on him on that board. Just now trying out Final Fantasy series with 7. You're starting with the best one. Potentially. Another 240 there. So he's got to keep going. I think she's all done. She's definitely all done. Just these two, man. And Vaughn just finished. What's up, I remember? Oh, G7? That's a good way to do it. The new Final Fantasy VII is a different I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's worse or better. It's none of those things. It's a different. It's a sequel, but it's not a sequel. They're doing something great with it. But a short story. Long story short is what I meant to say. The best way to experience Final Fantasy VII Remake is to fully experience Final Fantasy VII Original. They definitely made the remake with the intent of you having expectations and then working off that. I wouldn't even call it a reimagining, right? Like because a reimagining is like what they did with Resident Evil 2, where they told the exact same story, but it was like Capcom sat down and was like, "What if we made Resident Evil 2 like we did back then, but with the technology we have today?" And then that's what we got. Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 3 was kind of much the same thing. It wasn't quite as good as 2, but so was the original launch of 3 versus 2. But yeah, like I think Square has not confirmed it, but I think it's a direct sequel. Seven is going to do things that can only be done because of the events in 7 Original. Bought that. We're not doing the Ivory Pole. Because if I was gonna say it's like a, I'd quicker call something like a reboot than a reimagining. Do I need this? I don't need this. Do I want this? I want this. Why? Puts to sleep. No. I know what I'm doing. Okay. But get rid of the Hypno Crown. Yeah, I think the big difference between my point between Resident Evil 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake is that Resident Evil 2 Remake doesn't touch the story. It leaves it alone. It tells the same events. Like if you played Resident Evil 2 and you play Resident Evil 2 Remake, you're not gonna be surprised. Nothing's gonna curveball. Everything's gonna come to you the way that it did in the original. Not the case for 7 Remake. It definitely delivers new things that you didn't expect as a player of the old ones, which I personally like. There's a lot of people out there who aren't liking it. I am loving it. And the reason why I love it is because there's no reason people can't go back and just play 7 right now. It's on the Switch. It's on the PlayStation 4 with like the little cheat codes that are in all the Final Fantasy games these days with the remakes. Like, there's no reason you can't go back and play Final Fantasy VII Original. Same thing for a lot of these games they're remaking, but it is harder to get Resident Evil 2 on current gen stuff. Like, you're asking somebody to go pull out an old console or to bust out the PlayStation 3 and download a PlayStation 1 game. I don't think the PlayStation 4 has it in the PlayStation 1 catalog yet. So, like, you're asking somebody to put in some work to play Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 7, it's already up there, or Final Fantasy 7, it's already up there on the PlayStation Network. Somebody who just bought a PlayStation 4 could just jump on and play the original. You're not missing anything. Like, you can experience that. So, taking Remake, you don't have the obligation as the creator to perfectly, like, capture and re-deliver on a one-for-one blow exactly what was delivered in the first game. You're allowed to expand. You're allowed to make it more than what it was. I was going to say better, but no. And then also differentiated enough that it's its own thing. That's what I love. It's its own monster at this point, and I'm so excited about it. What am I doing, for God's sakes? is the point of this game again? What is Final Fantasy 12? Oh my god, there's so many side quests. Jesus Christ. I'm not doing them. We're in the last chapter of the game. There's so much shit to do. Now it's time to do some side quests that could be completed for stars. Now that you have access to all the aerodomes. I don't even know what the fucking aerodome is. I guess that's the airports. You can complete Anne's Letter side quest. Okay, let's pull it up. What's the reward for running fucking letters all over the planet? What is it? Fuck! It's a good ring! Son of a bitch! I hate Final Fantasy 12. Life choices are coming into question. I have been questioning my life choice to do the Final Fantasy Challenge since I started the Final Fantasy Challenge. But I made it this far. Here's the thing. I said it before, and I'll say it again, goddammit. I beat Final Fantasy VIII. I'm not quitting now. Not quitting now. Not doing it. Can never get through 9. 9 is my absolute of the numerical entries, so that means we're not talking Final Fantasy Tactics. Of the main entry Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy 9 is by a landslide my favorite. I adore that game. Ours is yet to come, but from a lot of sources, 13 seems to play itself. See, that's the thing though. I had to play 8 and hate it. And some of the parts weren't easy, so I had to learn its dumb systems, and I had to participate in its idiocy to be able to get it beaten. I will love 8. I don't... You got dropped on your head a lot as a kid. A lot. A lot. There's a sweet... Just not cultured enough. Jesus Christ. This is like the 100th time I've raved about this. Final Fantasy VIII is every single storytelling trope all hate fucked into a can that already had Spam and tuna in it and then sealed and left on grandma's shelf for 30 fucking years. And guess what? They didn't make any of those tropes connect or make sense. What do we get in there? Amnesia. Mother relationships. Love triangles. A rival who is a rival for no good reason. There's no backstory to it. Teenage love with no reason for it. Dream walking. Space travel. Time travel. Evil wizards. Cryostasis. Every single dumb thing that's ever breathed life into a story. The people who worked on Final Fantasy VIII, it's like, oh, that's good. Put that in there. I'll put that in there, too. Put that in there. Time-traveling mind control. What? What? Expand. We did. We expanded our minds so hard to imagine. It took us months and we broadened our mind to imagine a person stupid enough to make Final Fantasy VIII. It was that bad. Fucking hate Final Fantasy VIII. So bad. So bad! It was the worst thing ever. What did we rate it? Honestly, though, I have like as much as I hate it, Final Fantasy VIII was the best of the Final Fantasy games for our channel. Absolutely, hands down. The maddening bitching and insanity that I went through. We gave it a 2 out of 10. I still agree with it. I still stand by it. We even modded that game. That was before they did that like HD reboot remake that they just did for the Switch, which I wish was out when we played it. Because modding that game, the base game was like a gig or something like that. It's not even that. I think it was like less than a gig, the main install on Steam for Final Fantasy VII. And then the mods, to make it just not vomit-inducing to look at, was like 14 gigs that I put on that thing to make it look as good as possible. It looked good, except for the school. The airship had that weird black ring that we could never fix, but whatever. I will say that Final Fantasy VIII's card game is more fun than 9's. What is it? Tetramaster versus... What's the other one called? It was Tetramaster and... I don't know, fucking Gwent or some shit. Tetramaster was 9. Final Fantasy VIII was... Triple Triad is what it was. Triple Triad is superior to Tetramaster. Absolutely. I can't debate that. I can't even start to try and make excuses for Tetramaster in 9. It was bad. The card game in 8 was fun, and like that you went and like you met with people to get their cards from them and stuff. That was all fun. That was good. The draw system was interesting, but then what they built on top of the draw system made it terrible. The fact that you had to draw magic out of a monster to be able to use magic. Well, that means your wizards are never really getting stronger. They're just getting access to stronger monsters to get their magic off of. Okay, I can be okay with that. But then, to make your characters actually hit hard enough, you had to connect the stack of magic you had drawn to that character to improve that statistic, which then innately taught you as a player to never cast magic. You'd get a hold of some really bitchin' magic in the game. Like, you get, like, Ultima early or some shit, right? And you would equip it to somebody and make their strength really high, and then you were kind of encouraged to never cast Ultima. And you just wanted to get that stack as big as possible and keep it... Just keep that... like, you weren't supposed to use magic. And then the biggest atrocity of all of that game is the leveling system. The fact that the world levels with you, there's no point in it being a role-playing game anymore. You have to be able to compare to things for things to become stronger. And my perfect example of it's World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, we've never gotten stronger. The numbers have just gotten bigger. Because plot holes and things like that, like, you know, the numbers just get bigger. That's it. So, like, in Final Fantasy VIII, you never get to go back to... You kind of do, because there are a few areas that do level cap. So you can go back to certain areas where some things get super easy and super weak. It's kind of Dragon Ball. If you focus on Dragon Ball's like main hitters in the storyline, yes, everybody keeps getting stronger. But even Dragon Ball shows like a reference point, right? Like anime does it all the time. They have a reference point of like, that guy, oh my god, here's the main character and he just got his ass kicked in one punch from this guy. And everybody goes, oh shit, we have a pretty good idea how strong he is because we've been following the main character's like growth, right? So we know that guy's definitely stronger, that he's definitely done more than what our main character has, and then somebody just flicks that guy and he goes flying, and so then you get a point of reference, right? Like, And Dragon Ball always would do that. They would always bring back Yamcha to fucking let him die on the ground somewhere, and that would always remind you how strong everything was. Or bring in Krillin. There was always like points of reference, but when you're playing the character that's getting stronger and stronger, you should have something that you can go back and remember that you got stronger. Final Fantasy XII's done it. Like, because I actually level up and get levels, you know, I'm level 55 on Ash here, and her stats are actually improving as we're growing as a party. When we travel back to go do a hunt or something, and we're walking through those old areas, you're one-shotting stuff, or it's just easier. Or like, man, that was hard when I came here the first time, and now it's really easy. You don't get that experience in Final Fantasy VIII because everything levels up with you. So, to me, the whole point of a role-playing game is growth and progression. And the way that you show somebody has progressed and grown is by showing that they're better at stuff that used to be hard. Something that was hard is now easy, or not as hard. And Final Fantasy VIII robbed that of you. So, really what it came down to is, did you learn Final Fantasy VIII's system and break it early, which you could very easily break it, and then the rest of the game was just like a rollover, and you just shit all over the game's difficulty, or did you struggle throughout the entire game? No matter, and then not be able, and what is the cornerstone of Final Fantasy? Like, we've played 12 of them. The cornerstone of Final Fantasy is grinding. You can't beat a boss. You try it 4 or 5 times, well, then you go and you grind. Guess what you can't do in 8? You can't grind because the boss levels up with you. God, I hate 8. This is so bad. Where's the fucking airport? And see, all these complaints, not existent with tactics. Oof. Oof. I love the grind in Final Fantasy. Now, I will say that in 7, the materia grind was a little imbalanced. It took a little too long. And it's only bearable if you got, like, the speed-up versions of Final Fantasy VII, like the PlayStation 4 port and stuff like that. Speed the game up and make that grind. I think Mountain Dew and Goat Slayer and I sat in that forest. Well, you guys clearly, you were hanging out in the chat. You weren't obviously sitting here with me. But you guys were chilling with me when we had a whole stream on the Final Fantasy VII playthrough. We just had one whole stream where we sat in that forest where you fight Ultima Weapon the first time. It was a Diamond Weapon? I don't know. It's the one where Cloud goes catatonic in that little village right there. And we were just running in circles in that forest. Because there was there's these little guys that gave you a shit ton of AP on your materia. And we sat there for 8 hours, just... And I was on 4 times speed up. I was at quadruple the speed, and I was one-shotting everything. Like, I was in and out of a fight instantaneously. I was using all the cheats so we could grind that out. And we just spent a whole day grinding that. Just so we could get the master materials, remember? The master materia grind takes too long. 100% agree with that. Master materia grind. The level grind wasn't that... I don't think that was that bad. In the process of doing everything else, the level grind just kind of happens. So let's see here. So I need to travel to Aerodome, board one of the airships. The first trip that you can be between any 2 aerodomes in Evilise. Choose to travel by leisure cart, which will allow you to explore the airship during the journey. Where by a private cabin, you just go straight to the destination. Take the doorway at the bottom of its who's Ronde. Don't I already have this? Option prompted, and will give you an item called Anne's Letter. Anne will ask you to seek out each of her sisters. Jesus, she has a lot of sisters. This bitch. Yeah, the speed up made it bearable. We only had to spend like 1 day doing it. But yeah, no bueno. I like a grind. I just don't like the grind to take too long. Let me correct that. I want to see I want to be rewarded with progress as I'm completing the grind. Because in Final Fantasy Tactics, we're going to have some huge fucking grinds. And that's even after we cheese it as much as we can. Like, we're going to have huge grinds in that game. After we speed it up as much as humanly possible. I.e., surrounding a yellow chocobo and beating it within an inch of its life and having it heal itself over and over and over and over and over as we JP grind. But what I liked about that, though, is like if you did your math and wrote your numbers down, you knew how many times you had a JP grind in that fight without going over your job limit. You get it done in one, and then but here's the beauty. This is the beauty of Final Fantasy Tactics. You were leveling different jobs, right? But if you had a person who was JP grinding Black Mage, and everybody else around him in the party that's in that fight isn't a Black Mage, guess what? They were getting 1/4 of all the JP he got being a Black Mage in their own Black Mages. So that one little detail, that JP share that's built into the game, nobody explains it to you. You just go in and you realize your characters have a little bit of free JP that they never earned because this class just became available and they already have 1,000 JP. How'd that happen? Just saved you so much time. In fact, 1/4 of the grinding was saved. So I was like getting rewarded quadruple because like 5 other characters are getting 1/4 of it. It was good. Does not look I have Anne's letter, so let's take a flight to Bergerberba by leisure. I love the grind. I like a properly paced grind, though. And now that we just recently did it, I gotta say, Final Fantasy X was a very well-paced game. We had very, very little, like, dead brain grinding. I think it was, like, maybe a couple hours max. And I think all we were doing, we weren't actually grinding, we were just trying to set up something to catch a certain monster or something. It wasn't that bad. Sky Saloon? Why don't you just write in there Sky Saloon? Who's this Ronde? Just a gentleman, and I use the term loosely, who does not know when enough is enough. Decline a proposal of marriage from a man of my birth, stature, incomes, and obvious charms. Alright, so he's some snooty dude trying to get her to marry up. Alright, so her and her sisters hate him and his brothers. Alright, alright. Seven brides for 7 brothers is what I'm seeing here. For your mother's name day, you and your sisters each sent her a gift you found along the routes you work. Yes. Propose that you each gather a flower for your mother, and that this boy here informs each of your sisters of the arrangement. You can deliver the message to every one of them. My brothers and I will abandon all hope of the marriage. Okay. Alright, we got her dumb letter. Alright, this quest is dumb. Kinda cool you can walk around the ship though, look at that. Oh, neat. Clouds. What's up? I didn't know there was a store here. Doesn't sell much, but whatever. Does sell Geishel greens though. I guess we'll go check out the air deck. We've never done all this. Hey, Magni. Mags. Hey. Hey. No bark. Show me to the cabin, lady. It's time for Vaughn to have a nappy nap. Alright, there are now 7 flights that need to be taken. It does not matter which flight you took first, meeting up than originally. The flights are. So didn't we just do... Yeah, he is pissed right now. Okay, so we're in Bajurba. Alright, so let's go to Robin Astre. I think somebody's walking their dog. We technically did Balfenheim. Oh shit, sorry. To Bajurba. Already. Magni, they're not even trying to come into the house. What are you barking at? Alright, so this gets us that one. And we can't take Rabanastre to anywhere else, which is dumb. But why can't I just take Rabanastre to Arcades? And that count? Why does it have to be Arcades to Rabanastre? I'm gonna check. We're gonna make notes. Is there any letters that double up? Buzurba and Balfenheim. I just went Rabanastre to Arcades just now, so we're gonna test it and see if I can get a letter going that way. We're gonna go my way. Okay. So I did Rob to Arcades. We'll go Arcades to Balfenheim, Balfenheim to Buzurba. Skip it. Skip it good. When the cinematic is so boring, you must skip it. Okay, so I'm in Arcades. We'll go to Balfenheim. Okay, so then we'll do Balfenheim to Nalbinia. Okay. So we're in Balfenheim, and where do we want to go now? Albania. Albina. And then we'll go Nalbina to Rabanastre, Rabanastre to Buzurba. Bzurba to Balfenheim? This shit's confusing. Is this giving me items? No. Now we're gonna go Albina to Rabanastre, Rabanastre to Bzurba. Bzurba to Balfenheim? So we're in. You go to Rabanastre. So Nelb to Rabanastre. And then we'll go Rabanastre to Bzurba. Okay. Alright, so now we go Rabanastre to Bzurba. God damn. Brink, brink, brickety-dink. What is this? What is this? This is Anne. This one didn't count. Because it was the first one that I did. But now I'm in Bzurba. So I can take that to Balfenheim? What's up, goat? How's it going, my man? Rocking that new Chirimo. I haven't seen that one in a while. We are not... What did I just do? Bazurba to Balf? Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. I didn't realize that you had that cheer badge. Congrats. Thanks for the support. That's a lot of bits. A lot of bitty bits. That one's done though. So Arcades to Balfinonia. Balfenheim. I think that's the one that we need to do. We need to go to Arcades. Load. We're doing a dumb letter delivery quest, but it's for a good ring. All right, that was Balf to Arcadia. I haven't done that flight before. I'm missing. We're gonna try Arcades to Nalbin. We're getting pretty close to putting this one to bed. I'm ready. I'm ready to be done with this one. Big bucks, no whammies. We're hoping to see a counter girl being hit on by a guy. Dude, like, what did we say? How many days do we got on the description down below? How many days have we been on this damn game? I think we're on what, like day 11 or 12 or some shit? 13? Ugh. Got a letter. Arcades to Nalb was what we were looking for. A ring of renewal. We did all that bullshit so that we could wear a ring that gives us regen. That'll be good for our tank. Alright, now there's a cockatrice roundup. Let me see what the reward is for that, though. Huge quest that I have to scroll through forever. 2 high ethers. That's the reward. Oh, shit. Tell me that we already have it, though. Do not do this to me. God damn it. We're doing it. No! 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 I don't want to do any more side quests. The Knight Sword. Granted, there's swords, there's katanas, and then there's knight swords. Knight swords in Final Fantasy are, like, really good, but only the knight can wield them. The Knight Sword Defender is available as a quest reward halfway through this quest chain. But I do get 2 ethers, too. 2 high ethers. Alright, that monster that lay near. Nabarus Deadlands. It has a 1 to 5% chance of dropping the Defender Sword. What's up, Drake and Pone? How you been? Been a minute. Busy? Yeah, I hear you, man. Same. Oh my god, there's just so much to do in this quest, though. Do we grind it off these guys? Do we grind these guys for the Defender Sword, or do we do the quest? I kind of don't want to do this quest. Gives the Koga blade too? I don't want to do it. 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 What is this Koga blade? Do I have it? Just tell me I got the Koga blade. I don't have the Koga blade. We're doing this dumb quest. Oh my god, we're doing this dumb quest. Somebody go get me booze. Just send me alcohol. Alright, I'm good. See all the cool DC game stuff yesterday? I saw a little bit of it. I'm not... Paradise Risen. Yeah, so I didn't see the Suicide Squad. I know Suicide Squad got a video out. I didn't see the Suicide Squad video. But I did see the Arkham Knights, right? Arkham Knights is what they're calling that other one? Gotham Knights, that's what it was. I'm not the biggest DC fan in general. The Arkham games were fantastic games, and I had a lot of fun playing them. Why is it I can't get out of here? No relation to the Arkham series? Is it not? Suicide Squad is, though. But isn't it like... What's-his-face's Suicide Squad, though? Like, what's-his-face's Joker? Here, let's look. Let's look at it real quick. Kick it over to the video watcher screen. Let's watch this real quick. Yeah, it's a 4-minute trailer? From the creators of the Arkham series.
Give me a sit rep. I've got eyes on the target. Air support is getting cut to pieces. Where the hell are you? I'm going in. We lost the target! Repeat! Task Force X has lost the target! Damn it! Argus 3 is taking heavy fire! Get to Park Ridge ASAP! Don't worry, boss. We got this. Hey! Boomer! Lay down suppressant fire!
Keep it down, Hal. My ears are still ringing after that last Barney.
What is that? Australian for hangover?
I believe I can translate. Boomerang has a concussion from the enemy you missed in our last encounter.
Guess those teeth are sharper than your eyes, Shark Man. I never
You never miss.
Never miss. Yeah, we bloody know. You never shut up about it.
Task Force X. Alpha target is in the open. Get your asses to the Metropolis Grand Hotel and engage. Before I have another reason to blow those bombs in your heads.
Shit.
Yeah, next level national underground. Knocked off the ground. Like a million elephants,
Yeah. Sure, this song is gonna get me muted. We'll turn that down. Can't even watch trailers anymore, man. Companies got to have every single solitary penny that they can squeeze out of other people. It's ridiculous. We'll completely mute it. So even the quietest little sound will cause us problems. I'll just turn on some DMC-free techno. So I don't know Sharky Boy or Boomerang. I've never dealt with them before. But Deathstroke, obviously.
That should knock a few years off the old sentence.
That's reminding me of something. Oh yeah! Waller's stupid alpha target. Who are we supposed to be killing again?
Whoa. Look, it's Superman. The mighty Superman has just rescued that pilot.
What a show-off.
Beat it, Spandex! We're on a top secret assassination mission here.
No.
Those bad guy soups.
So, figure out who we're killing yet? Oh, fuck!
Then it goes right back to mute me. So decent. Oh, hit him with a boomerang. That's funny. Decent trailer. Need to see gameplay, of course. I have no idea. I'm not a big DC fan, so like that probably got DC fans really excited. That's a lot of fun. I really don't. Aside from like Batman's Arkham games and the Tim Burton movie, I don't care about anything Batman. I don't care about anything
In
DC.
breaking news, we've received reports of an explosion.
But if the gameplay is good, I'll be into it. You know what I mean?
To confirm if there are any victims. This story is involved.
Let's cut forward a little bit. I'm a Marvel comic fan, but and it's really not even Marvel comics in general. It's really just Thor. I made up my mind a long time ago. I'm gonna have one money sink.
If you're watching this,
Either gonna be board games, it's gonna be Warhammer,
this is a code black.
video games, comics. I get one money sink, one thing to blow my money on.
This message was automatically
It's video games.
stored the cave and everything it contained. We both know it won't take long for Gotham's criminals to realize the Batman is gone. And you can't count on the GCPD. Haven't trusted us since Jim died. Gotham will need its protectors more than ever. I'm leaving you the Belfry as base of operations. Some of the technology is outdated, but it has the gear you need and all of my files. You've always had my back when I needed you. I know you'll keep Gotham safe. Good luck. And goodbye.
Is this Warner Brothers Studios? Who's doing this? Looks like it was Warner Brothers Studios. It's Deadpool! Funny that they got, like, a redesign, an aggressive redesign on Deathstroke in the Suicide Squad game. And then, what they call him, Red Mask or Red Hood? Red Hood. But they went with like a real classic Red Hood design, though. Actually, all these are real classic for their characters. Mr. Freeze is in it? That's pretty cool. So... kind of a...
No
like being...
one talks about them.
Being devil's advocate, I think Warner Brothers, because they oversee both games. Warner Brothers Studios is working on this one. But they work hand in hand with what Rocksteady's got going on with the Arkham games. And they also are very involved in the Injustice stuff that Midway works on. So with that in mind, I'm surprised Warner Brothers greenlit. I don't think these are going to come out real close to each other. They're probably going to have a few months apart to make them their own games, you know? But I'm surprised that Warner Brothers greenlit showing both trailers at the same time. Because... if Psychodo and Ghost of Tsushima can be released as far apart from each other as they did with completely different gameplay styles, and people were still pissed to find out that Ghost of Tsushima wasn't just another Psychodo game. Like, we had tons of information. We had tons of opportunities to know that those two games were different from each other, and people still got them confused. These two games are going to muddy the shit out of each other. They're going to muddy each other up a ton. So I'm really surprised that Warner Brothers made that decision. Alright. Back to the Final Fantasy. Yeah, I think now that we've seen that, I think it'll be a game, those two games will be a game that I don't plan on buying, but I'll... So you guys know I do one of two things. Either I look at a trailer and go, oh, I've already played games in that franchise or that series. I'm definitely buying this game. And then I don't see anything else. I don't look up another trailer. I don't look up any videos. I don't look at any dev talks. I go radio silent on that game. Cyberpunk's one of those games. I don't know anything about Cyberpunk that's come out after the first couple videos. Because I knew I was buying it. So why spoil things for myself? But then the games I'm not sure about, I kind of stay on top of them. Like the Avengers game, I'm kind of staying on top of that. Those two games I'll stay on top of because I'm not sure. And if like it starts to look cooler as it gets closer, I'll grab it. If it's strictly just resting on the laurels of getting DC fans excited, that's fine. It will still do well. I'm not saying that's a bad decision. But if it's building on the excitement of a DC fan, it's gonna miss the mark with me. Doesn't mean it will do bad commercial. Belly showing up.
For you, F these hunts, Kappa.
F these hunts. We're gonna have to do a hunt so that we can say F these hunts. Suicide Squad is a shooter in the Gotham Knights. How is it a shooter with the shark guy? Do you not play the shark guy? And the Gotham Knights is a co-op RPG, so I think they're trying to hit different types of gamers. Yeah, like I said, we'll watch it. We'll keep our eye on it and see how things go. Welcome, Belly. Thank you for the tier 3 sub. Crazy bastard. He's got a huge minigun. Shark with a minigun. Of course. Why wouldn't he? I just like that the Gotham Knights has Deadpool in it. That's cool. I don't know why Deadpool's so quiet and not nearly as funny, but Deadpool's definitely in it. He's for sure in it. Guaranteed. Yeah, I'll keep my eye on it. We'll see. Okay, because what that boils down to, because the DC element hits nothing for me. It doesn't do anything for me. So it's just going to be, is that a good game or not? You know? Are these in response to Marvel Adventures? Yeah, probably. In DC fashion, they're about a year behind Marvel. And everything. But I honestly think, though, that these two games will do better in its market than the Marvel's Avengers game will. The Marvel's Avengers game is coming out of the oven, I think, 6 months too soon. Yeah, but like initial announcement of the Square Enix Marvel's Avengers game, and now the initial announcement of this game, yeah, they're totally different. But it doesn't matter. You're making a video game in a comic book world. So I mean, really, if you want to get really down to it, Marvel's Avengers is a response to the Arkham series. Because before the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe really cracked off, and then DC was trying to play catch up the whole time, the Arkham games, Arkham Asylum and City and all that stuff was that was like Iron Man, the first of the MCU movies, might have came out before Arkham Asylum. I can't remember. But, like, before the stride was hit and everybody knew MCU was going to be a big deal, Arkham was well in its swing at that point. Yeah, it's going to be better than Anthem and Division. I think for a while, Destiny 2 is still going to be the better, like, MMO light game as a service kind of thing that they're trying to go for with this Avengers game. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's unplayable for me in multiplayer. I'm still excited to play the Avengers game in a single-player aspect. Like, I'll probably do a lot of solo stuff, but all of the betas, I can't play with anybody else. And that's for a couple reasons. One, like, Japanese servers are a good distance away, and Capcom, for example, has shitty servers. So Monster Hunter, when I'm playing that, we have issues. And Square Enix doesn't have a bunch of money invested in their multiplayer servers either. So, and I'm also connecting over a long distance to that. So with both of those things, so crappy infrastructure for those servers for me to connect to, coupled with the fact that my internet connection here in the place that we live gives good internet, but it's not stable. It's fast, and it doesn't, like, crap out for long periods of time. Like, I don't lose my internet for days like some people do. The problem is, though, it's probably about 12 to 20 times a day I lose the internet for a full second. Now, constant stream of internet, very hard to do in any infrastructure, even if you're on, like, fiber and stuff like that. But the drop of connection that you have is about, like, 1/100th of the second or something like that. So the problem, though, is when I drop connection, I drop it for a full second, then it comes right back. So most everything that people use, though, you don't notice it because it buffers. Netflix isn't going to show that. HBO, streaming services, all these TV shows that people watch, even Twitch to an extent buffers long enough to where, like, you'll see my quality. I'll see quality dip in the streams that I'm watching, then it pops back, right? So it's usually not an issue, except for when I'm playing Monster Hunter or the beta or something like that, because coupled with the shitty servers that those two games have, that connected with my internet cutting out for a second, that server goes, we lost him, and then it drops the whole session. I get disconnected from Monster Hunter constantly, both on PC, both on PlayStation. Same thing's happening with the Avengers beta. And they said that they were having connection issues, and then they said they resolved it, and everybody on Reddit and everything and Twitter said, yeah, they resolved the random internet disconnect issues that I've been experiencing. And I'm still experiencing it, which means it's the combination of my internet and their servers. So, that is the game, though. Here's the thing, like, I consider your server quality to be part of the game if the point of your game is multiplayer. Like, I'm not giving Avengers a pass because the servers are shit. I got tons of other games. Thank you, Belly. Getting the bots shielded back up. Appreciate that. The whole point of the Avengers like game is to play with your friends. And I have played games that are based on Japanese servers before, but like they actually put money into those servers. And I'm cool. So that's my point though, is like they make their servers work good enough that the majority of people can connect and stay connected. But internet cutting out for a second? Oh, 10? Oh no, okay, it said you shared 10 rewards. I was like, you just gave out 10 subs? Damn. Welcome back, Drake and Pone. Another gifted sub from Belly. Oh, it's a tier 2 sub too. Enjoy that rage emote. Thing is they've gotten the connection working good enough for the majority of people, but I think an internet connection should be able to drop for about a second and then recover. Both Monster Hunter. Let me put it this way: their servers are at a C. And I honestly think that if you're building your game around multiplayer, your server should be at an A. A game like Uncharted, when they would shoehorn in a multiplayer on the back end, right? And it was an afterthought. It's a let's add another thing to the back of the box. Yeah, that's when you can have a crappy server. But when the Avengers game and Monster Hunter is about like the whole point of that game, granted there is a solo option, but the whole point of the game is that you play it with friends. And I consistently cannot, when I, for more or less, have good, stable internet, is ridiculous to me. I have no issues with MMOs, anything, because here's what the issue is that their servers are deciding I've disconnected too quickly. That's really the bottom line of it. I lose them for a half a second, and then I reconnect to it. They're deciding that after you lose so many packets to disconnect your signal as to not have you sitting around waiting to see whether or not you actually download the data that you need or you stay connected or whatever. They're making that decision too quickly, and that's usually done as a resource management on a server that doesn't have the resources to maintain reconnection processes. It's a bunch of network server stuff. Bottom line is they went cheap on the servers. Avengers is peer-to-peer? Its connection is server-based. It runs on the consoles, but its connection is not peer-to-peer. Like, because your matchmaking can't be done peer-to-peer. And that's the problem. You still have to have some kind of communication that makes sure... No, that's not true. You host a server when you matchmake? No, that wouldn't be true. Sony would never let that slide. Like, the networking behind doing that? No. Like, there is a small server at Square Enix that isn't the size of, like, the servers that are at, like, Treyarch and stuff like that for well, that's not even true, because they do host-based, client-based hosting, too. Like, but an MMO. It's... Alright, no, okay, I get what you're saying. You're hosting... Yes, that's peer-to-peer, but matchmaking... But Sony and Microsoft and Steam and... God, there's just every company in the world would have an issue, because the software that utilizes matchmaking identifies IP addresses and user IDs to be able to matchmake. And to put any version of that software onto a client machine to allow it to make those connections and get those people to meet up, be friends, and then let it host... It breaks so many software laws, it's ridiculous. So the matchmaking, that's the problem. I cannot get into a game. It's not that I matchmake and I get in the game and they get dropped. It is when the matchmaking's happening and it goes, oh, we can't matchmake with Zig. So bye. Like, it's the instant I can get everybody in a lobby and then I hit let's start the game, and that's when it's offloading the matchmaking to the host. It drops everybody. Or before we hit launch game. And it's the same thing with Monster Hunter. When you get into the lobbies and you're up in the meeting hub on Monster Hunter, you guys are setting on their server, and you're giving data to it. And it doesn't need the data to be an upstream 100% of the time. It just needs to get it every now and again when you're doing the matchmaking portion. And then what it does is it takes everybody's matchmaking and makes them talk to each other, and handshake is what they call it, and play nicely together. And then when it goes to start doing that, the way that Japan has written code, because what they always do is they test everything on Japan, which is like roughly the size of California. So the distances from like the tip to tip of Japan is not the distances of the rest of the world. They always this has been an issue for them for years and years. And it's the reason why fighting games have to have rollback netcode, is because they can't get their heads wrapped around this. But that connection, if somebody is timed out for like 500 milliseconds or something like that, they go drop that person because their internet's crapping out. They're gonna lose connection. They're gonna do this. They're gonna phase and teleport all over the place. So the software is set to just automatically drop those people so that the rest of the people have a good gameplay session. So, but what happens though is I can get on, I can play a game, we're fine, and then when my satellite-based internet decides to hiccup for only 1 full second, which is 1,000 milliseconds, right? Their servers go, Jesus Christ, he dropped 1,000 milliseconds, get rid of him, and they just drop my connection. It only happens with Square and Capcom though. Every solitary other fucking game company in the world I don't have these issues with. Nothing on Steam, nothing on PlayStation. Fall Guys is fucking fine. Every single Call of Duty game I've ever played. All that stuff. And it's because their servers are just super picky. And they don't want to put any more effort into it. I mean, how long has Monster Hunter been out? And I was just playing Monster Hunter Friday afternoon. And I had a disconnect then. But I'll watch other streamers play, and they'll have an 8-hour stream of Monster Hunter, and they don't drop a single hunt. I still, to this day, drop about 50%. Now, granted, I'm not saying that's the game's problem. I give passes on that shit, but other companies have found ways to work around it, and it's strictly a stubborn issue for Japan-owned companies, because Japan suffers from a huge case of NIH, which is, I don't know if it's psychology or business, what you would want to call it, but NIH is an idea called Not Invented Here, meaning that if your company doesn't invent the technology, but there's open source technology, you refuse to use it because you don't. I don't know why. They don't want to say that they use somebody else's tech. They don't want to. I don't know. They want to say it's their own stuff. And so if they don't make it, they don't use it. So Capcom's been notorious for this for the entirety of online gaming, because they refuse to use GGPO, which is a rollback netcode that's been offered up to all fighting games for free. And they won't use it because they go, well, we don't understand how it works. It's like, no, just like indie game studios are doing this, dude. You guys can figure this out at Capcom. Hire a guy that knows how to do it and just do it. And they go, no. They just come up with excuses. So I think they just announced, I don't follow the fighting game stuff super closely, but I think Capcom just finally decided to use rollback netcode, and rollback netcode solves all fighting game delay issues, period. They just decided to do it, and GGPO and rollback netcode's been out since like 2010 or something like that. Square games do it too. I can't think. Trying to think. I know that there was another game. I had an issue with tons of issues with Marvel's Avengers. I don't think we're gonna have an issue with Crystal Chronicles because of the way that it's made. I have a ton of upstream issues on the Tomb Raider games because it has like a faux internet connection that I have problems with. But it's actually not like peer-to-peer connections, and that's really it, because the majority of Square Enix games aren't multiplayer. But the few times that I find that I'm getting like crashes in a game, and I go look it up, I find out that Square Enix has a connection to the game in some fashion. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we'll see how Avengers... I mean, that's my point, though, is that, like, look at the entire list of Square Enix games that are out there. And Avengers is going to be the first game that they really put this much online work behind. Final Fantasy XIV isn't a problem because it's an MMO. So that's 100% server-based, and all I do is... See, MMOs is the way that these games should work. Because you have a client side of the software, and they have another version of the same instance happening on a server. So I'm playing the game on my computer, and then when that internet connection happens, that disconnect happens, I keep playing. I don't notice it because the game's existing on my world. So then what happens is everybody in the world, for 1 full second, gets stuck in place and they don't move. But usually people are standing around or fighting or they're in an idle animation, so you usually don't notice it. And if you do notice it, it's they're doing this, and then they keep moving. They're walking across the screen, they freeze for a second, and then they keep moving. That's all that it does, because all you did was you missed those packets that were sent over in that 1 second. But for matchmaking for games that don't have that server backup that has a state of the play, right? You got a server over there at Square where Final Fantasy XIV says this is what's happening play by play, and we're getting information when the players decide to do something different than what's being presented here. And then when that state of play is decided upon, it vomits that information back out to all the clients and says this is where he stands now. And then he goes, well, I moved over here. And so they go, yep, all right, so in our version of the game, we're moving him here. And then they vomit that to everybody and go, he moved here. And then you see it happen on your client. Because they don't do that with these action games, because that's a huge cost to do that, they use really, really cheap and stuff that just goes, if your internet speed's not up to snuff, you get dropped. See? Yeah, that's a good point. Like, that, you shouldn't have that in a world where World of Warcraft exists and has pretty much tested out all of the server issues that an MMO could possibly have. But again, it goes back to my point. NIH, they don't want to learn from the lessons that WoW learned from. And I don't know if it's like just a cultural thing. I don't understand it. But it was an interesting read that I read, and it was in a business article about like why certain businesses in Japan, and there was another country that's really... Australia is the other one. Australia and Japan have a huge NIH issue culturally, and like they'll just let whole industries crumble because of NIH. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's just okay. What? I just read something I'm not happy about. What? Anyways, long story short, I have to move to be able to, like, consistently play Monster Hunter without issues. I'm not even kidding. It is worth moving for, and we're going to. We're going to move before end of next year. We're going to move, because I'm so sick and tired of it. And this apartment complex has an exclusivity contract with CenturyLink, and CenturyLink is not only the worst actual service, it's the worst customer service I've ever experienced in any product ever. Ever. It's mind-blowing how wildly incompetent that company is. I'm blown away that they still exist. We got lucky, boys. We got real lucky that this was raining. I was about to just give up, because to do this dumb quest, it has to be raining. We're going to the Crystal Glade. It better still be raining when we get there. That's a hell of a walk. This is something I hate about Final Fantasy XII. This whole, like, weather system thing that they did was so dumb. Ugh. But yeah, I don't know. Basically, I've resigned myself on the Avengers game to pretty much just be excited to play the single player, because I got no... See, it stopped raining already. This is bullshit, dude. Hopefully it goes back to raining by the time I get there. Because, yeah, the problem is like, you go and you look at Square Enix and you go, your servers are fucked up. And they're like, yeah, but like 90% of the people that are playing our game are able to connect without a problem, so it's you. And it's like, okay. So you yell at your internet provider and you go, this is a problem. And they're like, yeah, but we can get a stable internet test right now when we test the internet. Okay, yeah, but yeah, it crashes for a second. Oh, okay. Well... Sorry. Like, they just don't care. They don't do anything. Alright, so... Alright, there we go. Luckily, it's still cloudy and considered rainy. Silent Urn. Okay, referred to as Tracks of the Beast. This area initially appears on your map, so it cannot be accessed just yet. Okay, so apparently I gotta cut down a bunch of trees? This is odd. Strike the tree. Okay. Why is the map not pulling up? There we go. Leave us alone, wolf. Okay, then we go up this way. Yeah, I don't know, like... It's definitely like a half me, half Square problem. Like, if Square, like, used tech that wasn't super cheap and halfway decent, and if Capcom would do the same thing, I wouldn't be having the issues that I have. But it is true that the servers they do have and are using are good enough for the majority of people. And that my internet is definitely what is causing the rest of the problem. But it just really sucks in my particular situation because I can't just go, all right, fuck you, you're a bad service provider, so I'm just going to use the power of my wallet and vote for a different, you know, product. It doesn't work that way here. The exclusivity thing just drives me insane. And the place is wired for other internet. It's just... I don't know. And every single time we go to renew our lease here, I tell them, like, you guys need to get different internet. And they're like, we know, it's our biggest complaint, but corporate won't change anything. So, Next time the lease runs up. Bye. What is this thing? Okay, so I want to pause it because I don't want to lose the reins. What's this thing? It melts. Travel to the Giza South Bank and search the east side of the zone. It was a butter turtle. Alright, I see what's going on here. So, I've made a makeshift bridge by getting over here. Yeah, it's raining now. Here's our mark. I'm pretty sure. No? Wait. What? Will only appear in a zone during heavy rains. Well, how can you tell me this isn't heavy rains? How the fuck is this not heavy rains? So apparently this NPC will tell me whether or not it's the right rain. This weather system drives me insane. There's no way to determine when the weather has changed. There's no way to force it to change. You don't know the timing of when it changes because it's every 2 hours, but it's not just on top of the clock. So it'd be like, okay, well, it's 67th hour of gameplay. We wait till we hit 68 and then we know. No, it's the first time that I've entered a zone that had a weather-capable event. I don't know what minute that was. I don't know when that was. Like, I have no idea. So it's like, potentially, like, it could have just changed on me. Look at it. See? And the weather just changed and it stops raining. All you can do is just run back and forth. And now it's raining over here. Is it raining over here? I don't know. Nope, it's fucking great. Okay, is this heavy rain? Like, I saw lightning. That was supposed to be one of the indicators that it's heavy rain, is that there's lightning. This weather system makes doing hunts maddening. And we decided not even to do the hunts anymore, but we gotta do this hunt so that we can do a side quest so that we can get a defender. Fucking sword. I can't believe that's not heavy enough rain. Fuck, bro. Come on. There it is. Okay. This is heavy rain. I can really see the difference. I can kind of see the difference. I mean, there's more lightning in the sky and there's more little lines of rain. But if that NPC didn't run up and tell me that, I would have never seen it. Okay. Dude, I'm trying to get her out of the fight so hard. But she's constantly locked because she keeps trying to... Alright, stop doing stuff. She's still locked. I need you out of the party because you're useless right now because you've ran out of mana and I'm not going to spend an ether on you. Why can't she leave? Alright, here we go. We're leaving. We're out of here. Oh my god! Ash can be pulled out right now, but not her? Okay, there we go. Jeez. All right, thank you, Fran. Lesson learned. Always go in with the A team on a hunt, even if you think the other fucking invertebrates can handle it. I love when it gets down to this low of health and you just like, how are you not dead? Like, you've been sitting at an empty bar for a minute now. Just die! thanks. I hated it. Now we can go track down cockatrice. Oh, for the low, low price of my fucking sanity. Feels good to obliterate. I have to complete. Oh my god! To complete, I have to come back when it's dry. I don't even need to complete the. Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't even need to kill that fucking thing. I just needed to get to that zone. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. I'm fine. I'm not gonna do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do and freak out. Booble. I got the booble. It's getting out of control. You know how like some streamers are like they play that one game, right? Like you always count on that, like, you know, like, oh, Asmongold's online. He's definitely Tally's online. They're definitely gonna be playing World of Warcraft. Like, you know, that one game. It's getting to a point that everybody's like, Kyle's just gonna be playing Final Fantasy 12. Let's go tune into old Zig. Professional FF12 player. Fuck this ball of lightning. I'm gonna fuck it up. Kick its ass, Seabass. You fucked me up last time, and it looks like you're gonna fuck me up this time. I sleep. Okay, well that, I mean, that's not entirely fair. Put everybody to sleep. Stupid. It's fine. I'm fine. What's up, Billy? Where is this me? It is. That's me. Not for realsies though. I don't have the reflectability.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but okay. Alright, so we got the Feather of the Flock. A whole X potion, that was worth picking up. Well, it begins. We gotta wait for the dry season to do this quest. Man, this whole weather system, man. So stupid. That's cloudy. Just gonna take a nap. All I gotta do is hold down on the controller and sleep. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you're playing Final Fantasy XII. It would appear that using the speed up cheat does not affect the weather cycle because it doesn't speed up my in-game clock. Son of a bitch. I hate this game. Too many clouds, man. It's not dry. Who said it was fake sleep, Belly? It's the realist. Man, this is dumb. Alright, Belly. Thanks for stopping in. I mentioned it earlier. I think you might have missed it, but we're planning on, now that the car's fixed, I'm going to be changing my... I'd like to do Saturday and Sunday to keep them consistent, but probably just going to be the Sunday streams. Because we do D&D late on Friday night. So I like the afternoon stream time for Saturdays. And then Sunday I want to get up early and stream. So that when I'm done I can go over and meet with my parents. Oh. Alright, so you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a 5-minute break. We're 5 minutes from the top of the hour. And hope that that's when it flips over. I hope. Alright. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.